The Rigged Gaming Awards 2020, they ended about 4.5 hours ago now. I've re-recorded this video countless times, so hopefully this is the one that works. Wearing my PlayStation shirt to represent, because three massive games were nominated tonight, all PlayStation, for Game of the Year. And yeah, it was a pretty good night overall. I mean, I did a live stream with my friends. We all had a lot of fun reacting to the awards and kind of giving our predictions and laughing and whatnot. The award show itself, I was definitely disappointed by the lack of the lack of announcements. I was really hoping to see some big things like God of War, but nothing like that. There's still a lot of indie titles, which is obviously really good for those companies to get traction like that, but I was hoping for some big things as well. Otherwise, the show itself, they did the best they could with the circumstances that there are right now, obviously. I mean, it had to be done digitally, had to have it over Zoom, but it was just kind of somewhat sad just watching everybody just on the Zoom screen. But yeah, no, Last of Us swept the awards. You got 11 awards out of, I think, 10 or 11 nominations that it had. Listen, it's a controversial game. It's divisive. I get it. But if you're here to see me complain about the game, complain about the award show being rigged, you're in the wrong place. I do not think the award show was rigged. So, go watch Quartering, go watch Geeks and Gamers, or Tyro and Magnus, watch any of those guys. I thought that, it was a deserving win. So yeah, like I said, 7 awards. It got Best Action Adventure, Best Performance, Best Sound Design, Innovation and Accessibility, Best Narrative, Best Game Direction, and Game of the Year. So I'll start off, I'll just kind of give my thoughts on those. So, for Action Adventure, I originally voted for, as my personal pick, not what I thought was a win, but I originally voted for Jedi Fallen Order because I felt like when you read the description for that category, it says the games that mixed traversal with combat and puzzle solving the best, mixed combat with traversal and puzzle solving the best. And I thought that Jedi Fallen Order was the game that did all three of those things the most, or at least the other two, not action, but the other two. It was clunky in that aspect, so I can see why that didn't win. I personally think that Ghost should have won, or like that was what ended up being my other pick, was Ghost. Last of Us 1, which I'm fine with, it just didn't stand out as much in my opinion as Ghost when it comes to combat or puzzle solving or traversal or whatever, but still a deserving win in my opinion. I still think that was a good choice. Best performance went to Laura Bailey, which did surprise me. I think Laura Bailey was phenomenal in the game, but I just was really sure it was going to end up being Ashley Johnson. She's still my personal favorite performance of the year. I think she was just incredible in that game, but still a deserving win in my opinion. I think it's hilarious how they had Brie Larson present the award. So Brie Larson gave the award to the person who played Abby, which Quartering must have just been fucking shitting his pants in a furious fit of rage, but it was pretty funny when that happened. I didn't even think about that until after the show, but I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, that was that. Then they had sound design, which I think was super deserving. Last of Us Part 2 has some incredible sound design, very immersive sounding. Just the sound of like characters, brains splattering on the ground when you shoot them in the head. It sounds disturbing, but it's true. It just sounds so good. It stands out so much more than it does in any other game, in my opinion, in that standpoint. So phenomenal sound. And the Infected, they sound great as always. And the new ones, like the Shamblers, insane. So great stuff there. The game also won narrative, which is obviously a controversial one. I think Lost was easily stood out the most out of any narratives last year. Yes, because it was so controversial, but for me personally, I thought it was a very touching story. It was depressing, it was sad, especially just the ending, knowing that those two characters, Joel and Ellie, would have forgiven each other, or that she basically did forgive him, she just couldn't say it yet, and then he died. It's a depressing game, it's very thought-provoking. I can understand why people don't like the narrative. I personally do, and I think it stood out the most out of last year. Ghost of Tsushima was a game that a lot of people wanted to win narrative. I don't really think that game had a great narrative. I thought the main story was kind of simplistic and generic. I thought it had great side stuff, but the main story itself was okay in my opinion. I'm trying to think. Innovation and accessibility. This is a new category that some people are definitely going to say was a shoo-in win for The Last of Us Part 2, which it kind of was. I mean, it was very obvious Last of Us was going to win that category. But we want to know why it was obvious, guys, because it had the best innovation. It innovated the most with accessibility, right? I mean, that's why it won. It wasn't like, The Last was going to get that just because of The Last of Us. It did a phenomenal job with those things. It needs to be recognized for that. And I think it's an important category to have because for me personally, I don't have any visual or audible impairments or anything like that. So when it comes to playing games, I don't need those options for myself. But, it's great to see a developer put in the amount of work that Naughty Dog did to include those things so that people who normally couldn't play games could play The Last of Us Part 2. And I think that was great. So props to Naughty Dog heavily for that. And I'm glad it's an award now. So yeah, was it obvious Last was going to win it? For sure, but I think it's an important award to have, and if the award was introduced next year, nobody would be complaining. It was just because it was the same year that Last of Us was out, and anyways, so yes, that one. Then, like I said, it also went on to win Game Direction and Game of the Year. So all stuff that I think was very well deserving. The only one that I think maybe could have gone to a different game was Action Adventure. Score went to Final Fantasy VII, which did not shock me. I was thinking it would be Last of Us, but because Last of Us for me personally stood out the most. But Final Fantasy VII did have very good music. I love the bombing mission theme, and I'm not a big Final Fantasy person, by the way, but I do think that was a deserving win. Ghost wasn't nominated for that category, which surprises me. I already knew that, but just surprising it wasn't nominated because I think it was great for that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I was very happy with all the other wins. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Best action game went to Hades. My prediction was Doom Eternal. I thought Hades had the better chance of getting Game of the Year, but I thought Doom kind of stood out more from an action standpoint, and it went to Hades. And then, some of the other ones I can't really remember. Multiplayer and mobile went to Among Us. I thought Among Us was just going to get multiplayer, and I thought mobile was going to go to Genshin Impact. I think overall I got 11 categories correctly predicted. I did not predict any of the like esports ones or whatever. So I still did a decent job overall to get 11 correct. I don't know who got the most. I think Aiden might have gotten the most correct out of us. But yeah, overall, happy that The Last of Us Part 2 won. I'm starting to get ready to play it again. I want to do permadeath and kind of get that over with. But yeah, I mean, it's a great game, and congrats to all the other nominees. Every game was great this year. I mean, I said this last year. I commented this. You can find it on one of the Game Award Orchestra videos. I said that, we shouldn't be mad because the game we wanted to win lost. Or we shouldn't be angry because the game that we didn't want to win won. We should just all be happy because, there's just so many great games, right? Everybody had a game this year that they enjoyed, that they wanted to win. Maybe it didn't win, but everybody had a game that they loved. And that's what's so great about games is you just have that diversity of content, that there is always something out there to love and enjoy. And that my comment was very cheesy like that, but it got a lot of likes and it was hilarious. So that's kind of my message for you guys, right? I've been disappointed in the past with award shows for sure. I was very disappointed when Uncharted 4 lost to Overwatch in 2016. That one still kind of burns. But, it is what it is. You gotta move on. And, yeah, so see you guys next year, when I will also be doing probably the exact same thing with the awards next year. I look forward to that. So thank you all for watching this video, and bye.